Hi, y'all. My name is Amanda, and I'm going to be taking you through a slow flow class today. We're going to be working on a vinyasa formatted class. And in this particular style of class, the way that I like to teach, I like to hold the poses for 3 breaths at a time, which gives you lots of time to synthesize what you're feeling and ample time to breathe deeply into the poses. Today's format, we're going to be going over Sun Salutation B. It's a kind of the variation gets you into more of the posturing with some additional creative adaptations. For your practice, you'll need a practice space. And I have a crisscross mat set up because sometimes I'll be facing you this way. Sometimes I'll be facing you this way. You might also want to have a bottle of water on hand, and you might also consider having a couple of props. In this case, I've got a yoga rectangle and a yoga triangle. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll begin with a warm up. Come to the top of your mat, bring your feet close together. Inhale, circle the arms up overhead, reach up, and exhale, fold forward. Soften at your knees, relax the head and the neck, and take 3 breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. This is called the ocean breath. 2 more breaths. 1 more. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, press up to standing. Inhale, circle your arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to prayer. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, bring it up to standing. Inhale, circle up, reach up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Last time, inhale, circle up, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, bring it up to standing. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sit into chair pose. Now I'm going to turn sideways and move to the top of this mat so you can see what this looks like for 3 breaths. My toes are lifted, my weight is in my heels. 2 more breaths. Last breath. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant your hands and step your feet back into that down dog shape. 3 breaths here as you just start to get anchoring through the hands and feet. Last breath. Inhale, shift forward into a high plank. Hold for 3 breaths. Third and final breath, we'll begin with a modified Chaturanga. Drop the knees, knee plank. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, the elbows squeeze straight back and you lower down. From there, flattening the tops of the feet into the floor and lifting into a baby cobra. So the glutes engage and you're barely pushing into your hands or not pressing into your hands at all. There's an inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale, exhale, lower. Last time, inhale, exhale, lower. As with all yoga, child's pose is a lovely option for you at any point along the way. So I'm going to stretch back into an extended puppy pose for just 1 breath. And then I'm going to shift forward into a tabletop and then up and back into my down dog. From there, my right leg comes up on an inhale. And on an exhale, I take my knee in toward my nose. And here's the tricky part. I want to try to get it to between my hands. At this point, you might have to move your foot aside or do some fancy footwork to get there. That's fine. The back heel will pivot down, and I'm going to lunge. I'm going to turn forward so you can see what this lunge looks like. My heels are on a straight line. My hips are pointed toward the front of the mat. So this is the front of the mat. Wherever my face is facing is the front. If I was turned this way, this would be the front of the mat. Arms come up, palms face one another, and shoulders move down. This is warrior one for 3 breaths. Your gaze should be upward. 2 more. 1 more. An inhale helps us reach up, and an exhale helps us transition, reaching toward the earth as we move our feet back into a down dog. From here, we inhale into that high plank, and we hold for 3 breaths. 2 more. Last breath. I'm going to drop to the knees, and I'll show you modified Chaturanga. So you can stay on the knees and lower all the way down, or you can stay on the knees and lower halfway with the knees and lower all the way down. From there, inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, lower. If I'm feeling pretty good there, it doesn't bother my low back, I can move my fingers back toward the pec muscle region, and I can come into a full cobra. So I roll my shoulders back, I lift up as high as I can while I squeeze my glutes. That's your full cobra. Inhale, exhale, lower. And in groups of 3, inhale, and exhale, lower. Toes curl under and knees lift. You might be able to do a modified Chaturanga back up or a full Chaturanga back up. We're on the left side now. So left leg lifts on the inhale. And on the exhale, the knee moves in toward the nose and the foot transfers through. As the back heel pivots down, I'm on warrior one, facing the other way. Again, I can give this to you. Forward facing. 3 breaths here. Eyes up. 2 more. 1 more. And inhale helps you reach up. And then that space that you found allows you access to step back into your down dog. Inhale forward into high plank. Hold for 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Here's the full Chaturanga. On the exhale, I lower all the way down, 1 movement. Full cobra on the inhale. Exhale, lower. 2 more times, full cobra on the inhale. Exhale, lower. Last time. From there, I stretch up and back into down dog. And I should be feeling pretty warm and long through the legs, the back of the legs, and the upper back. We'll call that 3 breaths. You can walk or step your feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward all the way. Inhale, sit back into chair. And hold there for 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Exhale, hands to heart center. As we stand at the top of our mat in mountain pose for 3 grounding breaths. And this is just a great place to check in and notice how you're feeling. And then we continue from there. Again, this is rooted in Sun B, Sun Salutation B. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, chair. Inhale. Exhale, hands to prayer twist to the right, knees together, Hips stay behind you, so there's this tendency to want to kick the hips out and drop the head. Inhale back into prayer. Exhale, same thing, other side. Knees stay pinned together. Chest lifted, head lifted. Inhale back into prayer. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant your hands and step back, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Hold for 3 breaths. 2 more. Last breath. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale, baby cobra or full cobra. I'm going to demonstrate upward facing dog. So upward facing dog might be a little more challenging than full cobra. I get up, I lift my knees and my thighs. Inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale, exhale, lower. Toes curl under. I can knee plank back up or full chaturanga back in a down dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Step the foot through. Pivot the back heel down. Roll up to standing. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, I sink into warrior 1. Inhale, I twist open. And on the exhale, I squeeze through my inner thighs as I reach my arms apart for 3 breaths. 2 more. 1 more. I'm going to let my hand drop behind my thigh, and on the inhale, I'm going to stretch up and back. And I'm going to hold there for 2 more breaths. 1 more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, step back, transition, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Heel pivots down. And I find my warrior 1. Inhale, arms come up. And exhale, I sink down into the hips. Inhale, I twist open. So my left hip is drawing back, my right hip is squeezing forward, and my arms are reaching apart for 3 breaths. 2 more. Last breath. This hand, my left hand, finds the back of my leg as I inhale and reach up. 2 more breaths. Last breath. Inhale, I reach up, back to my warrior 1. Exhale, I step back, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Hold for 3 breaths. 2 more. 1 more. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down dog. This is where I move back up to the top of the mat. So you can take lots of little steps. If you're new to yoga, this is pretty challenging. You're probably going to get like halfway and be like, oh gosh, I need to stand up and walk my feet to the top of the mat. If you've been doing this for a while, you might be able to take one little step after another as those hamstrings open. You'll find your feet right underneath you. Some people can get 1 step up to the top of the mat. And some people are hoppers, little froggies. It's really personal preference. Once you're back at the top of the mat, Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward all the way. And you'll remember we sat into chair. Inhale, sit into chair. Exhale, twist to your right. Inhale, back into prayer. Exhale, twist to your left. Inhale, back into prayer. And exhale, bring it up to standing. You come to standing at the top of your mat in mountain pose for 3 breaths. Go ahead and let the palms release. Turn the palms open and away from the body. Move the shoulders down and away from the ears. Exhale through the mouth. We're going to continue to build on this variation of a sun B. Come back up to the top of your mat. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, sit back in a chair. Inhale, hands to prayer. Exhale, twist to your right. Inhale, hands back into prayer. Exhale, twist to your left. Inhale, hands back into prayer. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant your feet, step back, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, lower. Curl the toes under. Bring the big toes to touching. Drop the knees and open them wide. And sink back into a wide-legged child's pose. With your forehead on the mat, massage your forehead from side to side. We'll take 3 breaths here. Press into your hands and come forward onto your hands and your knees. Bring the knees together, sitting on the top of the knees for a hero's pose. Take 3 breaths. You can turn the palms open. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, reach the right hand down toward the floor and the left arm up and over. 3 breaths. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, reach the left hand down, reach the right arm up and over. 3 breaths. Curl your toes under your feet. Sit back on your heels for hero's pose number 2 for 3 breaths. Check to make sure your pinky toes are flipped under. Take a fist. Open up your knees, drop a fist between your knees. Open up your feet to behind your knees and press up onto your knees. Ustrasana, camel's pose. Bring your hands together to the small part of your back, approximately where your tailbone starts to have a crease. And squeeze the heels of the hands toward one another. Toes stay curled under to help you stay anchored through the feet as you push the hips forward. Squeeze the butt muscle using your brain. Trace a line up and back for 3 breaths. Once you're finished there, come back into tabletop position. Ripple through a few rounds of cat and cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Move the knees close together, and this time sink back into embryo. So we've been working our hands. We want our hands to be back by our heels and our head forward for another 3 breaths. Notice my elbows are relaxed. Hands crawl forward as I pull myself up onto my hands and my knees, and then I come back into tabletop and then down dog. And I'll walk my feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward all the way. Inhale, sit in a chair. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, twist to the right. Exhale, back through to center. Inhale, twist to the left. Exhale, back through to center. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step back, down dog. Now this is where, in my own personal practice, I start to omit the Chaturanga up dog, down dog. So I'm going to inhale forward and then exhale into my cobra. And then back into down dog. Inhale, right leg lifts up. Exhale, knee to nose, step the foot through. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, twist. And inhale, reverse twist. Exhale, twisted triangle. So I'm going to plant the hand down on a ground or a block and take the other arm up. My nose can be pointed down toward the ground or up for 3 breaths. 2 more. 1 more. As my hands release, one hand reaches further up than the other, and I can step back down dog. Inhale, high plank. Hello, sensor. We'll call that 3. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back down dog. Onto the left side, inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step through, pivot down. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, twist it. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, top leg straightens. Hand finds the inside of the foot. Twist a triangle, 3 breaths. 2 more. Last one. We're about halfway through an hour-long sequence, so this is when I like to move into inversions typically. So I'm going to turn into a wide straddle, and I'm going to open my feet wide. And I'm going to let my elbows drop to the floor, and I'm going to let my head drop to the floor. And I just want a little pressure on the top of my head. I'm not trying to pop right up into a headstand initially. My sinuses have been a little backed up, so there's a really great sinus pressure trigger point right on the top of your head. If your feet are super wide, bring them in slightly, and we'll go with 3 different variations of Prasarita Padottanasana. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what this looks like. Variation 1, I'm going to walk my hands out pretty far, almost like a down dog, and then I'm going to drag back, and that's a great shoulder opener. My hands have to be sticky like little gecko feet. My hands are also wide so that I can clear my neck. Variation 2, I walk my hands back and I grab for the outside of my bony edges of my feet. I'm tucking my fingers underneath the bony edges of my feet to pull myself straight down for 3 more breaths. Helps if your toes are turned in slightly here. And variation 3, the hands come right in between your legs, right into your shoulders, and you turn your fingers to behind you and you walk your hands through. I like to joke around and say this is where you learn to somersault, but it's no joke. If you don't keep your weight in your feet, you will somersault. So 3 breaths there. After that, we'll walk our hands up toward the top of the mat, and we'll come into a yummy low lunge. So I'm going to set my back knee down, make space for my hands, and sink into my hips for 3 breaths. I like to look up here. After my 3rd breath, I'm going to shift back into a runner's lunge, where I frame myself out over the top of my legs so I can get into my hamstring for another 3 breaths. And then on the inhale, I'll shift forward, and on the exhale, I'm just going to walk it to the other side. Same thing, I make clearance for my hand. I drop the knee, I sink the hips, and I lift the chest for 3 more breaths. From there, I take my runner's lunge, so I'm just sinking the hip back. I'm not sitting on the heel. I'm keeping even pressure across the back of the leg to where my butt attaches for 3 breaths. From there, I'm going to walk myself forward again, and this time I'm going to move my foot into a pigeon. So I just folded my leg across. First pigeon I like to do is active. So you're going to press into the top of the foot, both feet. Try to lift yourself up. This is a back bend. If you'd like to, you can take the arms overhead. You can also keep the fingers down for 3 breaths. From there, you can sink down to the elbows or the forehead for another 3 breaths. And then we'll make it a little more about the outside hip, not this one, but the outside hip. You're going to try to bring your sternum toward the sole of the foot for 3 more breaths. From there, I like to swing the back leg around, and so we're coming into a figure 4. And this is where we'll work into some more deep hip openers, including potentially some arm balances. So this is the figure 4 shape. If I was just, you could see from an aerial view, you'd see that my legs are making a number 4. I'm going to take my right elbow and either catch for the bony edge of the foot or under the ankle. I like going under the ankle. And I just move the hip from side to side here. If things are going well, I can smush into that hip tissue. And if things are going well there, I can bring the foot over the shoulder, and I can try to cross the other foot over that foot, and maybe I can get my butt off the ground, come into 8-angle pose, come back up and out. Not required. Other variations include a reverse Ganesh grip and a big old hip opener. Not for everyone. To get up, the leg swings. And then from there, we'll just cross at the ankles, roll over the knees, and find pigeon on the other side. Exact same thing. So we want to press into the tops of the feet. See if you can lift up for 3 breaths. And then we melt down for 3 breaths. And then sternum to sole of the foot for 3 breaths. From there, we come into figure 4, cradle the baby. So this time, this leg is bent, and I catch behind the ankle or at the bony edge of the foot. I go side to side. Or I put the shoulder behind the knee. So I put the shoulder behind the knee. When I put the shoulder behind the knee, I've got to move the hand to behind the shoulder to get this lock in here to maybe get my butt up off the ground. And you can see I got top heavy there, so I have to squeeze through the legs to keep myself lifted. And that's one way to arm balance. After all that, you want to shake out your hands and stretch out your wrists. I like to stretch with the big toe, so I'll put the big toe on the ground and just kind of lean back and hang off of my peace fingers. I do that with both. So my foot's actually just gently pressing away while I'm leaning back, and that's helping open up everything in here, here, and here. And then from there, we'll move into some back bends. So you'll scoot your butt down towards your heels and you'll lower down onto your elbows. Grab for your rectangle. Bring it to underneath your SI joint. We'll take 3 breaths in easy bridge or supported bridge. From there, you can take that block and turn it up 1 notch, depending on how flexible your spine is or isn't. You might want to take it lower, you might want to take it higher. I have a pretty flexible spine, so I'm going to show you the full range of motion here for 3 more breaths. Things are going great. I'm going all the way up. This block is going to its highest height. And 3 more breaths. Now, if this is as high as I can go, when I go to take my traditional bridge pose, I want to try to stay that high. And I can take that block and bring it to my inner thighs to really activate the core for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the knees to the chest, drop them to the right for an easy spinal twist. 3 breaths. Lift up, drop the knees to the left. 3 breaths. Lift up, bend the knees, fingers graced for heels, another set of bridge. Squeeze the block, press up, hold up, squeeze glutes, pull belly in and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Move the block. Take the knees to the chest. Draw circles with the knees. Circle the other way. Separate the knees Reach up and grab for the bony edges or the balls or the big toes of your feet for happy baby. Wobble from side to side. For our last set of bridge, I want to work into full wheel today. I have a full wheel practice, and I've maintained a full wheel practice because I have maintained full wheel practice. So when you get your full wheel, if you can, keep on practicing it. I know that can be tricky sometimes. If it hurts, don't do it. But full wheel, same thing as a setup for bridge. Fingers hook under shoulders, and hips lift, and shoulders lift. And we'll hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Couple of cooling breaths here. And we're starting to move into the final resting space. And I'm going to roll over onto my side for a moment and come up to seated because I want to share a few things with you before we move into final resting space. So yoga is a practice, and it's, when you first start, you're probably being guided by a teacher, and as you get out of your head and down into your body, you probably come to realize that you have a lot of innate wisdom in your body, and that your mind tells you a lot of things that you just don't need to be listening to when you're trying to stay present in your body. So I like to encourage my students at the end of class, if there's something that you've been working on in your personal practice, now is a really great time to go over that. And if you have no idea what that means, then you can do anything that you really enjoyed today. And that's the easiest way into a practice. You could also take the opposite approach and do anything that you really thought was challenging today, just to remind yourself that you're strong and you're capable. For me, at this point in the practice, I'm going to showcase this really cool prop. It's called the yoga triangle. I happen to make it, so I'm a little biased to it, but it's really great for opening the heart space. So I'm going to show you a simple heart opener, and then I'm going to show you a few more ways to integrate the triangle into opening the heart. So I place the triangle with the point facing up and the longest, flattest side facing down. So it's balanced across the bottom. And then I'm going to place it right between my shoulder blades. And I'm going to lay back. That's a great way to start to open up the front of the chest and the back as well. And I want to breathe deeply into the front of the chest. Come up slowly. Don't come up quickly from big heart openers like that. That can be a little bit much. Then I'm going to take and face the triangle and bring it to just below my belly button for a psoas release. About 4 fingers below my navel. And then I'm going to come off of that. And then I'm going to take the triangle and place it right between my shoulder blades, but I'm also going to support my head. So now my neck can relax. And I'm going to release my rhomboids. So right at between the shoulders, I can reach my arms out like this and squeeze those bones on my shoulders and catch the triangle between my shoulder blades. So that's where I want to be. My right arm will glide out across the floor like I'm making a snow angel, and ooh, right there, there's my rhomboid. And then I'll reach for the ceiling. It's almost like getting a massage without needing a massage therapist. It's pretty great. I do that 3 to 5 times on either side. And I don't do both sides at the same time. I do one side and then the other. So I'm on my left side now. And then I come off of the block and the triangle slowly. And Shavasana. So for the final resting pose, just let everything flop apart. Turn the palms open, close the eyes. Count to 5 on the inhale. Count to 5 on the exhale. On your ready, you can begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers. And stretch any way that feels good to you. Keep your eyes closed if you can. Roll over onto one side in the fetal position. Take a breath there. And then find your way up to seated. Bringing the hands into prayer at the end of our practice reminds us of our dual feminine and masculine nature and the necessity for balance in order for us to be happy, be present, and find balance in an ever-changing, very unbalanced world. Namaste means that the divine light in me sees, honors, and acknowledges the divine light in you. So I'm going to close the class today with Namaste. Thank you for tuning in. Your practice allows you to cultivate inner light that becomes visible to others. And I hope that you enjoyed this class. If you feel like leaving a comment or you want to work further with me or any of the instructors at Republic Aerial Yoga, please feel free to reach out to us and let us know. And we always welcome your feedback. Thank you so much. Have a great night.